Autumn is here, it's almost Halloween, and that means it's time for pumpkin spice beef ribs.
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
That's right, it's almost Halloween, and that means we're going to go full on Halloween style barbecue. And now pumpkin spice is not limited to your Starbucks coffee. These spices have been used to warm your soul for way longer than that Starbucks is around. I'm talking about nutmeg, cloves, ginger, and cinnamon. All the spices that will warm your heart. And since I got these beautiful beef ribs, we're gonna make a party version for the pumpkin spice ribs. If you've been watching this channel, you already know where this beef comes from. It's still the bull that keeps on giving. And if you didn't know, this summer I butchered my own bull, and now I have all this good stuff. Look at these beautiful beef ribs. I'm gonna slice this up into individual ribs. Now take a look at that. I'm going to take these individual ribs, clean them up a little bit, get rid of that fat cap on top. So we got as much surface as possible for seasoning and adding flavor to the beef ribs. Now that is absolute perfection. Can't wait to sink my teeth into that. And again, trim off the fat cap and the silver skin, which you can always render out into beef tallow. Once I got my ribs cleaned up, it's time to season them. That is where the pumpkin spice seasoning comes in. Of course, I want to keep the original barbecue flavor in barbecues. So I'm going to start out with the PitmasterX beef seasoning. That is going to be the base of the flavor. I'm going to add about 4 big tablespoons to a jar. Then add 1 teaspoon of a nutmeg powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. And then of course I want to add ginger. Now you can add ginger powder or you can add fresh ginger. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some fresh ginger. I'm just going to grate it up and put it in with my seasoning. Of course fresh ginger is going to be somewhat juicy, but that will mix up real well with the seasoning. About a tablespoon worth of it. Let's mix that up real quick. Spread that ginger out, make it part of the seasoning. Oh, if you could just smell this. It's winter, it's autumn, it is Halloween, baby. This is it. Of course, we're gonna do a taste test. Not that it really matters with seasoning, but whoa, super tasty. I'm gonna sprinkle this on my beef ribs. And of course, I'm gonna do all sides of the beef ribs. Just load them up with that seasoning. Now with the ribs all seasoned up, ready to go on the barbecue, but no barbecue fired up yet. So let's get that sorted. First, I'm going to create an indirect zone with these bricks. They're going to protect the meat from radiation heat and keep the charcoal on one side. Put a fire starter in, and then I'm going to put the long burning coconut briquettes in. I'm going to give you a quick peek on what this setup looks like. The reason that I love this setup is because it allows me to cook for at least 8 hours like this, and it will ensure a slow burn, keeping the temperatures down. All I need to do now is to add a chunk of smoke wood, and of course I'll be using beech because it's one of my favorite smoke profiles. Then the grill grills go back on, followed by the beef ribs. And then I can close the lid, opening the top vent all the way and setting the bottom vent to almost all the way closed. With this cook I'm aiming for a temperature of about 140 degrees Celsius. And while we're waiting, we might as well make a barbecue sauce to go with it. Not just any barbecue sauce, a pumpkin spice barbecue sauce with real pumpkin. Real pumpkin.
Real pumpkin.
I'm gonna cut half a small pumpkin up into slices. I really don't need that much. All I need is a bit of flavor. Gonna de-seed the core. Make sure to get everything out. And then I'm gonna cut off the skin. And I'm gonna roast the pumpkin over the direct heat of the barbecue. And while they're laying there getting nice and warm, picking up lots and lots of smoke flavor, we are going to prepare the rest of the ingredients. Of course, I'm going to start with the pumpkin spice seasoning. I'm going to take a slice of ginger, add that to the pan, just a small slice. And again, I'm going to add a teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, all powder of course, and a tablespoon of the PitmasterX beef seasoning. Now for sweetness, I'm going to use some honey. About 3 tablespoons worth of honey, and about 3 tablespoons of ketchup, a tablespoon of Worcester sauce, 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to give it a quick stir. Once the pumpkin picked up enough smoke color, I'm going to transfer it to my gas grill, which I'm going to set on full blast. Yes, that's right. There we go. I'm not the only one doing a full blast because I need that pumpkin to be fully cooked before I add it to the barbecue sauce. Then you take them off, put them in the pan. Look at that beautiful char. That's going to give us so much flavor. And that is what's going to make this barbecue sauce even more special. Let's work that in. And then put the barbecue sauce on the fire. Let it warm up together with that pumpkin. Once the barbecue sauce is bubbling and the pumpkin turns soft, then we can grind it down because we want everything smooth, turning it into a rich, creamy barbecue sauce. Oh yeah, baby. Well, let's do a quick taste test to make sure that we did a good job. Oh, that just warms your soul. That is so good. I've got a core temperature of 70 degrees Celsius in my beef ribs. And that is the moment that I'm going to take a look at these beef ribs and see how much beautiful bark we built up. That is more than enough flavor on the bark side. Now we got to make sure that these beef ribs become tender and juicy. So I'm going to take out some aluminum foil, take a beef rib, put it on the aluminum foil, add a chunk of beef tallow, a little bit of the barbecue sauce, and then bring it all together and wrap it up with an airtight seal. And then they all go back on the barbecue. I'm going to close the lid. I'm just going to let them continue to cook. I'm aiming for a core temperature of 92 degrees Celsius. And that is going to take a couple of hours. By the way, I've been smoking already for 3 hours. So keep that in mind. And this is going to take probably another 3 hours in the aluminum foil. The beef ribs are done a little faster than expected because the temperature in the barbecue rose up a little higher. No problem though. I'm just going to take these off and let them rest. They still have the desired core temperature. The temperature is going to rise up another couple degrees, and that's what's going to make it soft and tender. But it's a waiting game. I'm going to give these at least 20 minutes on the board before I open them up. They cool down significantly. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, look at this beauty. A little bit of that juice out of the package. That is pure gold. I'm so curious to see how tender this is. Will it fall off the bone? Won't it fall off the bone? Let's see if I can shake this off the bone. There we go. There we go. Oh, hanging on to the last thread. And now for the moment of truth. Let's slice into this and take a look. That is amazing. That's all I have to say about this. This is juicy, it's tender, and the question is, what does it taste like? Pumpkin spice beef ribs. This guy's, his flavor profile is amazing. If you own a barbecue restaurant, you should be making these. Put them on the menu. Trust me, it's gonna draw crowds. Gosh, sorry, I got lean them out.
That's better than I expected.
Dude.
Did you tell him that I didn't really...
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I let him taste the sauce and he said, well, it's not my thing.
It's good, but you have to enjoy it with this.
But the combination,
Yeah, works way better. Nice.
Dutch people are always super honest. If they think something, they will speak their mind. There's no hesitation. It's not like he will say that it's amazing and it's great because I pay your wages.
That's actually true.
Oh.
Mr. Dog tax as well.
Give it a bone.
Take it. Yeah. Oh, it's like a delicacy. The more you eat it, you think like...
The better it gets.
It has to be on a nice plate.
The better it gets. The dog is enjoying the bone. He likes the pumpkin
Should
spice.
we make a latte for her?
No
pumpkin
lattes
spice?
here, bro.